Kennesaw Mountain, considered the gateway to Atlanta. This was General Tecumseh Sherman's final obstacle on his notoriously successful march to the sea. Join me for Civil War history, peaceful nature. Oh no, I didn't realize how long the hike was gonna be. Join me in a race against time as I try to get back to my car before the park closes and they tow my car. Just to start off with a little background before getting into the actual hike, Kennesaw Mountain is approximately 30 minutes northwest of Atlanta. It costs $5 to park inside the park. I stopped by the visitor center first, which has some nice souvenirs and a nice little museum that gives history of the battlefield in the context of the entire U.S. Civil War. Okay, time to get on with exploring Kennesaw Mountain.
Oh, welcome to another travel video. Feels cheesy to say this. Welcome to another travel video on Andrew's channel. Today we are hiking up Kennesaw Mountain. So this was the location of a giant Civil War battle between General Sherman, Tecumseh Sherman, and the Confederate General Johnston. And this was the last natural barrier to the city of Atlanta, considered the gateway to Atlanta. So essentially, Johnston set up his smaller Confederate force here and entrenched themselves, since they had some time, onto the actual mountain. And Sherman, having logistical supply behind him, decided to go for a frontal attack. He thought the Confederates would be weaker and a little bit more disorganized. So at first he tried a frontal attack with some feints on the flanks to try and draw the Confederate forces away from the center. And it was here in the middle of all these trees and on this mountain that you can see behind me that the hard lesson was learned, that warfare was now forever changed. That committing organized lines into an offense against defense in superior positions, prepared positions, was a fool's mission that would end in nothing but in the loss of, in Sherman's case, 8,000 men that were pretty much lost for nothing, because one, Sherman would wind up losing the battle. They weren't able to penetrate the Confederate defenses because Confederates were pretty well entrenched here. Two, after the battle was lost and Sherman had withdrawn a little bit, he decided to just flank around Johnston's prepared positions anyway. You know? He learned one of the key facets of maneuver warfare, which was just go around the prepared defense. Don't go through it. And so, even though he did lose here, after he lost here, for the rest of the Atlanta campaign, Sherman would not come close to defeat again. Because every single time Johnston would try and hold prepared defense, he was just going to go around it. He wasn't going to go straight through that thing. Now, this battlefield is actually not very far from Atlanta. It's only about, I'd say, maybe less than 30 minutes from Atlanta. Like, it's even closer than Stone Mountain. Now, if you haven't seen my video on Stone Mountain, I would definitely suggest checking it out. There's a bunch of people that didn't like it because, you know, I guess saying that the Confederacy fought for slavery is a little bit too political. Look, if you get offended by me saying that the Confederacy fought for slavery, which is, the truth, then one, you need to take a deep breath, like I need to do right now, because I'm walking up a massive hill. And just think about it for a second. And then two, you should check out this guy's channel. I'm gonna do one of these numbers. Check out the video he made. Basically, he's a historian. He has a lot of really good facts just showing how the Confederacy fought for slavery. Here's all the quotes of people who said this or that. This is a very pretty hike. But unfortunately for me, there's another hike that is straight uphill. Coming up here on a Thursday afternoon, it is approximately 85 degrees out. Now when this battle was fought, it was, I think, June 27th, so middle of the summer. It's about the same temperature. So, very hot day, especially in those uniforms of the day, the wool uniforms. So yeah, I'm guessing because of the heat, them soldiers in hand-to-hand combat, probably not having a good time, but probably also at the same time was the least of their worries. They were discovering the horrors of modern warfare. It's currently the middle of May, so yeah, the majority of this trail being underneath the trees is actually super nice. So this area I'm walking through right here is kind of where the line would have been for the Confederate defense. They kind of were set up on the crest of the hill, on the top of it. So I think we're passing over, or mountain. East Coast, this is a mountain. But I think we're passing over the middle of the mountain, making our way to behind Confederate lines. This place also seems to be super popular on the weekends in Atlanta, so I would recommend visiting on a weekday. I tried coming up here last week, but when I did, every single parking lot was full. There was no parking spots anywhere, even in the outlying parking lots. And it was at like 7:30 in the morning, because I wanted to try and get here super early so I could jibber jabber like a weirdo without anyone giving me looks, And yeah, every single parking lot was full, and I just decided to just go home. I wasn't gonna deal with that. 7:30 in the morning, I was already super tired. Nuh-uh. But today, much better. I've only seen a couple of people passing me, and they're all just like people jogging, exercising, working out. So I guess people come from the suburbs of Atlanta out here to come and work out. Whoop. Here comes the uphill again. Just imagine trying to drag like your supplies and your cannons all the way up here. Dude, I think I would have just would not have been a good time. After consulting Google Maps, I've decided I'm gonna hike a little bit further first. It seems like this is not the summit yet, so another little bit to go. Thank God there's a lot of shade here, because if you can't tell by my complexion, the sun would beat my ass, bro. I don't even think I'm gonna get sunburned today. You can't tell how steep this hill is, but right now I'm just imagining myself being a Union soldier, Union private, getting told by an officer like, hey, you gotta climb up there. Like, what the heck? People back then were wild. So far, very pretty hike for a battlefield. Very pretty, very gorgeous, heavily wooded. When it comes to looking at paintings, pictures of the time, it does not look like there was that many trees here when the battle occurred. But except for on the mountain. Oh yeah, my girlfriend's gonna love this video. Just breathing ASMR. Oh yeah. Now we're getting somewhere. Oh, I could've just driven up here. That's sick. I guess if you're stereotypical American and it's too much to get your steps in, then I guess you can just drive up here to the top of the mountain instead of walking. Not as bad as Stone Mountain though. I guess the summit is still just further up there. Here, I'll show you. Just further up there into those beautiful trees. Oh yeah. This is a great place to fly the drone. That's why this mountain's called the Gateway to Atlanta. You can see Atlanta out there in the distance, just like perfectly framed. All right, here's where we're getting into the historical stuff. They had cannons all the way up here. Yo, no freaking way. Wow. That's sick. Imagine lugging that thing all the way up this mountain. Well, they probably had horses. It wasn't just a bunch of dudes pushing it up a mountain, but still. That's wild. So I guess here is where the Confederates' main artillery line was set up. I don't know if this is where their main defensive line was set up. Though either way, the crest of the mountain itself, very good spot to both put your artillery and your defense positions. However, it meant that it was easier for Union long-range artillery to hone in on those positions as well. So how effective can your artillery really be? Now the question becomes, if I go down the other side of the mountain, is there a way that I can get back to my car? We'll see, we'll see. Not too many, I feel like people are here to check out the actual Civil War battlefield. It's more just people trying to get some steps in. That's what I'm seeing. This is a, excuse me. Okay. Flew off. A little bit of domestic dispute there. But yeah, it's mostly just people trying to get their steps in, trying to stay active. I think the majority audience I've seen are couples, just like going on like a little romantic hike together, and just old dudes getting their sweat on. And then just dudes like me, middle-aged white dudes with a weird fascination for stuff that happened 200 years ago. So I've heard there are some trenches here, and I was looking through on my drone and it looked like there was some stuff. So let's see if we can find that. I got time. All right, by looking at Google Maps, it seems if I go all the way to the other side of this mountain, it's about 5 miles total, I should be able to get to the trenches. That's all I want to see. Some Civil War era trenches. I gotta see me some trenches. Yo. Bit of a hike ahead. Montage time. Bop. This map's actually really good at demonstrating how everyone is arrayed on the terrain. So you can see the Union forces were coming up from the west, on the western side of the mountain, with the Confederates lined up on the near side of the summit. So they had to climb the entire way up the mountain to get to them. More cannons. Let's go. Wouldn't be a Civil War battlefield if there weren't a bunch of just cannons laying around unattended. I feel like I'm one of like 5 people on the mountain right now. So it's honestly really nice. Other than my loud and annoying voice talking. It's a very nice little nature walk. However, one negative thing about this is like compared to other Civil War battlefields, it's not very accessible. So if you're trying to do a staff ride, like maybe this one might not be the best one for your entire staff unless you're trying to make them sweat. Then in that case, this one's perfect. But the hiking part would be time consuming. I've been here, see, I started hiking at 3:30, about halfway through the battlefield. It's been about 2 hours of walking. I stopped to fly my drone for about half an hour. But yeah, about 2 hours of walking so far. Still looking for some trenches, honestly. I want my trenches. Also, if you're mad I don't have more research and historical facts for you for this Battle of Kennesaw Mountain, then you should like, comment, and subscribe on my video. If I get big enough, maybe I could devote more time to this channel and, you know, make it better. Till then, we're just going to keep having fun with it. See, now I'm starting to get a little worried. It's about almost 6 p.m. The park closes at 7, and I still have to walk back. Oh, now there's a little danger, a little race to get back to my car. That could be the title of this video. Race to Kennesaw Mountain. race to get back to my car. Still looking for the trench. Your boy still has not seen any trenches. I was told there are trenches here. So far, I'm still walking on trails, and it's getting a lot less steep. So we're probably getting to the bottom of the mountain. Hopefully. I mean, it's marked on Google Maps, so it's up here somewhere. So hopefully I'm about to walk on top of it. Looks like here at the bottom of the mountain, instead of it flattening out completely, it turns into a slight ridge line. So the Confederate defenses continued all the way down this ridge line. In my opinion, this part is where probably it was much more deadlier for the Union troops. The Confederates could actually hit them as they're walking across the flat ground towards the steep ground. And then sprinting up the steep ground, ooh, you're in for a wild one. Just look at this ridge line facing down. How much a climb the Union forces would have had to go up, and then how good fields of fire the Confederates had. Because you can see all the way to the bottom of the hill down there. So to try and take this, the Union forces would have had to just like run their way up the top of this hill. That's nuts. Yeah, see, we even got a cannon battery here. And this is a way better spot for the cannons, other than the top of the hill is good for, like, I guess longer range targets is what I would say. This is better for causing damage to assaulting formations of troops. So putting your smaller assault guns on these positions here would probably have been better. But I'm no general. All I want to see are some cool trenches. Yo. Little cactus. Look, it's pretty. Pretty little cactus. I totally did not expect to see that. That's so cool. Okay, I am at the spot where Google Maps says there's some Confederate trenches. I want to get my Confederate trenches, so I'm going to look around a little bit. But I am running out of time. Clock is currently at 6 o'clock, and the park closes at 7, or closes their gates at 7, I think, or 7:30. Maybe this is it. I think it's it. Yeah. Oh yeah, this is it, baby. Not not a lot. I don't know why I was so excited for this. We got this cool little walkway. Embattled earthworks. Okay, so instead of these being actual trenches, these are just ditches defended by the Missouri Regiment. This is Pigeon Hill is what it's called. See, that's where the Union forces would have come from, assaulting across here. Super nice defenses for the Confederates, because they probably would have had their cannons back up here, maybe even shooting overhead over to where the Union forces was coming from. And so, from what I've read about the battle, the Union forces took severe casualties of at least 8,000 at this battle, while the Confederates had less than 1,000. So it was a tactical victory for Johnston. However, it was a strategic loss for Johnston because he was not able to stop the Union forces because they were just able to flank around him. So let's get another look at those trenches. Oh yeah. Very shallow trenches. You would not have been able to stand. It looks like these are basically maybe waist high. Waist high trenches, and they kind of extend back this direction as well. Alrighty, and I'm at the end of the mountain because the road is like just down there. Okay, now it's time for me to begin my race back to my car before they close the gates on me. Clock is ticking. We're taking a different way back that kind of skirts around the base of the mountain, so I don't have to do as much uphill climbing. But it is a little bit longer, so we'll see how this goes. All right, enough talking. Let's get to walking. Looks like we're in a bit of a standoff. Hey, he's just chilling. I'm not gonna try and bother him. It sucks how much suburban sprawl takes up this battlefield. Like, all of Grant's positions are essentially suburban neighborhoods now, building the passive income of America. Ooh. But what also sucks is how long this battlefield is. So we've only seen half of the battlefield, or what it has to offer. Right now we're trekking through the behind Confederate lines towards the supply wagons. But what we didn't see was the southern half of the battlefield, which is where significant action also took place, another feinting action. I think the flank actually occurred over there, and essentially Sherman's main effort. Don't have enough time to find out though, because I got to get back to my car. Current time, 6:11. I have 50 minutes to get back to my car. I think 4 miles to go. So, we got plenty of time. Back to walking. Enough talking. Let me just put this disclaimer in there, if it wasn't obvious already, but I am no historian. If you want history, if you want facts, you should check out the YouTube channel I already mentioned, or read Wikipedia or something, or just go get a book. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, but I'm no historian. I just like going places and showing them to people. That and flying my drone around. So if you like this video, like, comment, subscribe. Hopefully I make it to my car before the park closes. Stick around to the end of the video to find out. So I'm walking back. I guess my recommended audience for Kennesaw Mountain. Really good for a date idea. If you want to take your young gal, your young boy out on a nice little hike. This is definitely a nice one. Lots of trees, lots of wildlife. Pretty good view at the top of the mountain of Atlanta. If you just want to get some steps in, if you want to go on a mountain run, this is pretty good too. The trails are pretty well established. Definitely recommend going on weekdays though, because when I went on the weekend, super busy, even at 7:30 in the morning. So good luck with that. Or if you're just visiting Atlanta, this place is probably not even 20-30 minutes away from downtown Atlanta. Pretty close to an airport too. There's a museum. The visitor center is pretty nice. The shop that they have there is, I would say it's pretty good. They have some pretty decent souvenirs, and they have fridge magnets. So, better than the Memphis Pyramid. That was my big shtick with the Memphis Pyramid. No souvenirs. How am I supposed to be an American and consume if there's nothing to consume? That's my biggest shtick. That's all I wanted from the Memphis Pyramid. Was a freaking fridge magnet or a freaking t-shirt. Maybe even a baseball hat. But no, they had none of that. It was just all Bass Pro Shop stuff. Nothing that even said Bass Pro Shop at the Pyramid or something like that. No, it was just basic outdoor gear. I'll make a video about that one day. I have all the footage still. I'm just kind of sitting on it. Righty. Status on our race back to the car. We're about halfway back, and my watch currently says 6:31. Park closes at 7, I think. Maybe it was 8. Maybe I misread the sign. We're about to find out. Maybe I start running. Please. I just want to get to my car in time. Good thing I don't have work tomorrow. Oh God. Then I would be extremely worried. I would have been running like 10 minutes ago if I had to work tomorrow. There's a cool grass field that you can see right here. You can see from Google Maps. So this was a civilian conservation corps camp created during the Great Depression by FDR. Essentially, it was a way of almost conscripting young men in the area, because since everyone was unemployed, the way to make them employed was to draft them into a sort of conservation corps, civilian conservation corps. So their job was to basically build the park that we have here, build all the trails, stuff like that, and get paid for it. So it was kind of dual purpose, improving nature while giving jobs to a bunch of people, making America better. No political statement there. It's just history. Sun's going down. Battery life getting low. Gotta get to the car. Meow. Race to my car, race to my car, race to my car. This is downhill, easy as heck. Oh, heck yeah. What a beautiful day. Pretty much there. It's like another quarter of a mile in my car. Got like 8 minutes left. Should definitely make it. This really reminds me of Poland. If you know, you know. That's all I gotta say. Honestly, a very well kept grass lawn. No grass clippings anywhere. 10 out of 10 lawn workers at Kennesaw Mountain State Park. There it is. There it is, my car. It's just right there. I see it. Now that I get closer, I'm pretty sure closing time's 8, but guess we'll find out. Let's finish the hike. Here's a little monolith statue to the soldiers of Georgia. We sleep here in obedience to law. When duty called, we came. When country called, we died. Not a lot of monuments at this one, honestly. Shiloh, there's monuments everywhere. This is the only one I've seen so far. Kind of strange. A lot of the monuments and plaques I've seen so far, maybe it's just because I was on behind the Confederate lines, it's been mostly dedicated to the Confederacy. A little disappointing, but I'm sure, given time, if I explore the entire park, probably the score evens out a bit. I don't know. Let's place is too big to explore one afternoon, honestly. My God, they're just starting to close the gates. I made it just in time.
I start ticketing until the car's active. Yeah.
Guess it was 8. I thought it was 7. Started rushing. A lot more people going up the mountain right at 7. Running the risk of getting their car towed, according to that nice lady. Oh, let's go get some dinner. Just finished eating at the It's Greek to Us store. Dude, best gyro I've ever had. That was so good. They have these little like Greek potato things. Highly recommend. I don't know if it's the hike that did it to me that just like made my appetite go wild, but that stuff hit. That stuff hit real nice. Alrighty. It was a good day hiking around at Kennesaw Mountain, I guess I'd have to say. Pretty good day. Not a lot of actual Civil War stuff. I saw a bunch of cannons and the trenches. But other than that, this is aight. This is aight. It's a good place to go see and visit if you like the outdoors. If you like taking a little nature walk, I think it's a good idea. If you like this video, click that subscribe button, like and comment. Just have a nice day. Hope you have a good weekend. Or hope you have a good week. It's a weekend for me. All right. Bye.
Sir, want an apple?
Yeah, thanks.